Welcome back to Interactive Art, a podcast that explores the video games redefining storytelling and entertainment. Today, we're talking about one of the strongest narrative games ever made, and my personal favorite game released in 2021, Life is Strange: True Colors, which was developed by Deck Nine Studios and published by Square Enix.
So, Alex, the day's finally here. You've been at the Helping Hands group home for 8 years. We've been through a lot in that time.
We have.
And now you're finally leaving to live with your brother.
My brother Gabe.
It says here he lives in Haven Springs, Colorado. Is that correct? That's a big move. Do you have any plans as far as school or a job?
My brother said I might pick up a few shifts at the bar he works at.
So you'd be dealing with people?
Maybe.
While our first episode about the indie title Before Your Eyes was largely about the way that the game used technology and the medium of video games to tell a wholly unique story, Life is Strange: True Colors is a little more traditional. This is a full-budget title from a major publisher, a game playable on all consoles as well as on PC, even playable using a controller. Life is Strange: True Colors tells the story of Alex Chen, an Asian-American woman who travels to a small town in Colorado to reunite with her brother, who she hasn't seen in 8 years.
Alex!
Holy shit. That's really him.
Oh. What's the protocol for reuniting with your long-lost sister after 8 years?
The two were separated after the death of her mother and the loss of their father, and Alex has spent the time bouncing between foster care centers. Seemingly as a result of the trauma she experienced in her childhood, Alex has developed the power to see, feel, and wholly experience the emotions of other people.
There's something wrong with the way I process other people's emotions. I see these auras, I guess. And sometimes, if somebody's feeling something big, it sort of infects me. And I start feeling it too.
True Colors is the third full Life is Strange game, and each of the games has starred characters with supernatural abilities. Alex's whole viewing emotions thing isn't totally out of left field. Early entries don't need to be played to enjoy this one, though, as each game features different characters and a different setting.
Wow. You two are already wonder twinning your way through town.
Seems that way.
The series began in 2015, and it's always covered difficult topics. It's always been truly ahead of its time, especially considering this is a major franchise from a major publisher. These games cover and openly discuss LGBTQ+ relationships, racism, mental illness, grief, sexual assault, and quite a bit more. I chose True Colors to cover here specifically because it does the best and most compelling job of having some of these conversations. Though I think this is the best entry in the Life is Strange series, the others are worth playing. The original game in 2015 was influential for me, and it redefined what I understood video games could be almost 10 years ago. Compared to reversing time and using telekinesis, when True Colors was announced and Alex's ability was revealed to be empathy, many, including myself, raised an eyebrow. The empathy power is used in really fascinating ways to really great effect. I think it's really used better in this entry than either of the other powers were in the other games. There are 3 major ways that the empathy power manifests. When Alex sees someone who's experiencing a strong emotion, she sees it first as a vibrant, color-hued aura. Red is anger, blue is sadness, and purple is fear. Just like Pixar's Inside Out. She can reach out to people feeling these strong emotions to effectively read their minds, getting a bit of a glimpse of what's making them feel that way.
She's all grown up. And I missed it.
Damn boys, always fighting. Time to grow up.
I guess if I died tomorrow, what have I done with my life?
I don't have any easy answers for that.
Finally, in big set-piece moments throughout the game, Alex can take on their emotions herself.
I can't help him if I don't understand what he's afraid of. And the only way to understand is to feel what he's feeling.
These sections, where Alex is in the world and the emotions of other people, are where the game does its best work, and it's really fascinating.
I'm not just feeling what Ethan feels. I'm seeing the world like he sees it. He's not afraid of the fall. He's afraid of...
After Alex reunites with Gabe, her brother, she tries to settle into a new life in his town, Haven Springs, Colorado.
You look a lot like how I imagined you'd be.
Yeah?
Do I look how you expected?
I honestly didn't expect you to have a beard.
Oh, they didn't tell you? When you move to Colorado, you automatically get an amazing beard, a pretentious knowledge of craft beers, and a Subaru. Funny.
I didn't get any of those things.
Don't worry, I will stop at nothing to get you your very own Colorado welcome kit. I mean it. I want you to have a fresh start here.
And everyone welcomes her with open arms. Alex starts to think that maybe she can finally be at peace.
Wow. Gabe's been talking about you coming since... forever. I'm Ryan.
There. Nice to meet you. I didn't realize that...
that we all knew you were coming. Yes. Gabe is generous with both friendship and information.
This is your home now. For as long as you'd like.
As long as I like? Really?
I don't want to make any assumptions or put any pressure on you about what to do next, but you're always welcome.
I'd like to stop here and warn that there are spoilers ahead, but I do not talk about anything in detail that isn't already in the trailers. Ethan, who is the young son of Gabe's girlfriend Charlotte, sneaks out into the mines to play.
If he actually went up there, we need to move. Now.
Okay, let's go.
Typhon, the local mining company, has scheduled blast mining that night, so Alex and Gabe race out to recover him. They call the mining company to get them to call off the explosions.
Any luck?
And touch base with the safety team up at the site. They're gonna postpone tonight's blast until we find them.
Oh, at least we're not racing the clock.
Despite assurances that the blast is canceled, the bombs go off, and in the following chaos, Alex watches Gabe die, the same day she arrives in Haven Springs. And that's the end of episode 1. Each Life is Strange game is comprised of 5 episodes. In early entries, the episodes were actually released individually, months apart. Fortunately, True Colors was the first entry to release as one whole product, and we weren't just left on that cliffhanger.
You didn't push me away. You sat right there and told me that I wasn't broken, that I was special, and I belonged. Then you died. Then I don't know what to believe now. Except you're gone again, and I'm still here.
For the remainder of True Colors, Alex teams with Gabe's best friends, park ranger / bird enthusiast Ryan Lucan.
I don't think Ryan can go a day in his life without being helpful to someone.
And radio DJ / dungeon master Steph Gingrich.
Citizens of Haven Springs, that was the Wednesday with Bomb Squad. Up next, a very special request from some chick.
And they work together to find out what happened that night and why her brother was killed.
What happened to Gabe was a senseless, tragic accident. And I just wish that...
It wasn't an accident.
When it comes to actually playing True Colors, players mostly just walk around as Alex, looking around environments, interacting with people and things. There's not a lot of action, there's no difficult gameplay or anything like that. This is an experience more like an interactive film. Players make choices that affect the world around them, seeing characters develop from episode to episode. These choices largely come back and factor into the climax. The central plot of True Colors is plenty interesting, chasing the truth and unraveling the mystery. But it's the character moments that really make this game special. Exploring the way the characters grieve for Gabe after his passing is powerful. And the game tackles topics I've never seen tackled before, like Ethan's mother grappling with the way that she blames her son for Gabe's death, the anger and resentment that she feels in her grief.
What is wrong with me? I can't let myself feel this way.
You're angry at him. At Ethan. You blame him. I'm a bad mom, Alex.
There are tons of other smaller vignettes as well, like experiencing the sadness of an older florist who's suffering from Alzheimer's, as she desperately tries to keep up appearances until her daughter leaves for college.
The doctor said I had more time, but everything is becoming so out of order. If Riley finds out, she can't find out.
Another early moment in the game is the reveal of a fourth color, a fourth emotion. The three main emotions, the ones I discussed earlier, are anger, sadness, and fear. These are the only emotions Alex has ever seen manifest. Imagine her surprise when she actually feels happy for the first time in years.
It's only ever been the bad emotions before, but that was...
Now, I don't want to make it sound like this game is all sad and heavy stuff. Part of the reason I love this game so much is because of the moments of levity, the writing, and the character relationships. As much as the game is about Gabe's death and dealing with the aftermath, it's also about Alex figuring out who she is, making friends, falling in love, figuring out where she belongs. This game brings the jokes, the touching moments, and it has a really hopeful ending. Episode 3 is dedicated in its entirety to a town-wide LARP, or live-action roleplay, thrown by Steph to cheer up Ethan, who becomes reserved and withdrawn following Gabe's death. The entire town gets in on it, with Ryan playing various monsters, the bar owner playing an evil sorcerer, and countless other minor characters filling their roles. In this section, there is some more involved gameplay, and it emulates traditional turn-based role-playing games, with Alex playing a bard, Steph as a sorcerer, and Ethan as a mighty warrior. None of this gameplay gets difficult at all, though, don't worry. Alex can view the red aura of anger around one man during this sequence, and he's just so in character that he's exhibiting anger because of the monsters terrorizing the town.
What a thankless life, being a smith in the age of monsters.
Whoa. He's really into this. It's really sweet how many people Steph's roped into this.
Episode 4 is dedicated to the town's annual spring festival, where most of the game's subplots are wrapped up and its characters are celebrated before a much heavier finale in Episode 5.
Spring festival equals mountain prom.
It's a lot cooler than it sounds.
Not possible. I'm picturing some straight up Wicker Man shit.
Oh, you've been before.
Another unique thing about True Colors, and Life is Strange in general, is its use and focus on licensed music. Alex is a singer, and her singing voice is actually performed by MXMtoon, a singer-songwriter with a considerable following on TikTok.
I hate you both.
We didn't want you to wuss out.
Wussing out is highly underrated. We haven't even practiced yet.
Who cares? Everyone's wasted anyway. Just play whatever. I'll follow your lead.
There are set-piece moments where music is used to really strong effect, like Alex dancing with Gabe in his apartment, or playing music with Steph at the Spring Festival. There's also dozens of quiet, introspective moments where Alex just sits and reflects while music plays. You can stay in these moments as long as you want until you push a button and stand up. What I'm really trying to say here is that the official Life is Strange True Colors playlist, available now on music streaming services, is full of hits and tasteful jams, and they really do a lot to set the mood of the game. Life is Strange True Colors was my favorite game of 2021, and I'd recommend it to anybody. This is a shining example of what storytelling in video games can look like. It combines great writing, acting, and design to tell a really beautiful story about emotion, about grief, and about finding oneself. Thanks for listening. I could have covered any of the Life is Strange games for this podcast, but Life is Strange True Colors is a game that means a lot to me, and I knew I had to cover it early. Between Before Your Eyes and True Colors, Interactive Art has been covering some pretty heavy topics. Join us next time as we dial it back with a much more laid-back game. A wholesome game about a short hike.